Welcome to the RavensSpace on YouTube. My name is Jason, and this is RavensSpace Mailbag, where we answer your questions about the Baltimore Ravens. If you guys have questions that you want to send in to either the Mailbag or the RavensSpace Daily, please send those questions to TheRavensSpace@gmail.com. I try to answer every single one. Today we have 3 great questions for you guys, so we're going to hop in. First, please subscribe to the RavensSpace on YouTube for more great Baltimore Ravens content. Also, a special shout out to our Patreon subscribers, because without you guys, none of this is possible. And we're going to hop into the first question that comes from Liam. And Liam asks, Michael Oher was just released by the Carolina Panthers. Do you think that since the Ravens want to spend the rest of their cap on the offensive lineman, they would consider Michael? Thank you so much for your question, Liam. Now, I would like to say one thing about Michael Oher. I thought that when he was with the Ravens, he was overhyped. But when he went to Carolina, he did get much better. They coached him up really well over there. And I think he will be a great right tackle. I don't think he's a left tackle caliber yet, but a great right tackle I think he can be. I think he has grown in talent. But the issue is that he has injuries now that will probably dissuade the Ravens from going over there and getting him. So the first thing and the most important thing is he has chronic migraines, concussion symptoms, and different things like that. He's been saying it for a long time. It was part of the reason why the Carolina Panthers cut him. He just couldn't play. I just do not think that the Ravens want him, because to be honest, there will be times that he will not be able to play due to his migraine concussion symptoms. But I think he is much better than James Hurst. And if all things were the same, I would rather take him than James Hurst. But Michael Oher will have a problem, getting on the field because of his symptoms. I would be surprised myself if he doesn't just retire. That's what I think he's going. That's the route I think he's going at. I think he'll retire, so the Ravens won't even get a chance. But I do think Ozzie will inquire and to see. But I do not think that he will be fit to play because of his concussion symptoms. And it's just another reason why the NFL, though some people say it's getting too soft, is trying to cut down on those issues, especially at positions like lineman, where you make contact every single play. Thank you so much for your question, Liam. We'll move on to the next question. And this next question comes from Taylor. And Taylor asks, do you think Marlon Humphrey has promise? Would he fit well with our current roster? I think Marlon Humphrey has promise? Yes. I think that his size, the fact that he plays for a big school, played in big games, played against top receiving talent, makes him, a player that has promise. He plays very similar to Jimmy Smith when Jimmy Smith first came out. He plays aggressive, he plays up in your face, which means that the toughest route that he'll have to cover are deep routes, the deep nines, the different things like that. And that's just because he'll be on the receiver and the receiver gets a step on him, then, he plays behind. So, and I think the Ravens know that. Jimmy Smith had that problem coming into his first couple years, where any double move, Jimmy Smith would get beat. Marlon's going to have a little issue with that, but I do think he'll get past that and become a great player. And will he fit our current roster? Yes. I think, to be honest, that he's the perfect combination as a young player. So he's not there yet, but he has the size and skill set of a Jimmy Smith, but he has the durability of a Brandon Carr. You guys have to remember that out of any player last season on defense, Marlon Humphrey played more snaps than all of them. So he's played more snaps. He'll be ready. He's not injury prone, very durable. Things change in the NFL sometimes, but I do think he'll be on the field sooner rather than later. I don't know if he'll beat out Brandon Carr this season. A lot of people are asking that question, but I do think that he has a chance next season to be a starter, because I do think there's a chance that Brandon Carr won't be on our roster next season. So we'll see. I think Humphrey is a very young player, but I think he has the potential to be a good player. I don't know if he has the potential to be a great player, but I do think he is very talented and does fit our roster. Thank you so much for your question, Taylor. We'll move on to the next one. And the next question comes from Justin, and Justin asks, and if the 2018 draft were to start right now, what position do you think the Ravens would select in the first round? Thank you so much for your question, Justin, and this is a very easy one to me. It would be offensive tackle. It would have to be offensive tackle. And it's just because right now our right tackle is so weak. You could say you want to go center, but I think that the tackle is more important right now. And plus, it's either the weakest positions on the team are tackle and tight end. If Joe doesn't feel comfortable in the pocket, then he starts to throw off his back foot and different things like that, and we don't want that. We want Joe to be confident, be able to step up in the pocket and show that arm strength that he has. And so I think it would be offensive tackle. A couple of players that I've been looking into a little bit. So if the Ravens are good next year and they get a late pick, there's going to be a player named Martinez Ranking from Mississippi State. Big guy, again, doesn't really have the great foot movement and foot speed that some of the higher picks have, but I think that he will be, he'll get adjusted. I don't think that he has what you need coming out of college at left tackle, but at right tackle, I think he'll be good. And you coach him up and everything will be fine. And another player, like if the Ravens are not good next year and they get a high pick, will be Connor Williams, offensive tackle for Texas. Now, Connor's like kind of the opposite of Rankin, and when I say the opposite, I mean that he's not as big just from a sheer size perspective, but he has great feet and he has technique. And in a lot of instances that wins. Ronnie Stanley's a mixture of both technique and size, but Connor's still big, but he's not as big as Rankin. But that's who's earlier. So if the Ravens are bad, that's who they'll try to get. If the Ravens are good, I think they'll try to get Rankin, a tackle. But this is way too early. This is not a prediction or anything like that. You asked the question, I gave you the answer. And that is the last question of the day. Thank you guys so much. We did 3 questions today. Usually we do 4. Let me know if you guys want the longer show or the shorter show in the comment. I try to get this under 10 minutes for you guys. So please let me know if you don't care about the time. You want to go over 10 minutes, let me know. I'll, adjust to you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Please subscribe to the Ravenspace on YouTube for the best Baltimore Ravens content on the internet. Also, check out our Patreon page where you can help support us and we'll help support you. Again, special shout out to our Patreon subscribers. Check out our t-shirt store. Follow us on our different social media channels. Thank you guys so much, and go Ravens.